wrote something special just for you all because I speak at a lot of places, but we all have this common, passion to figure out what's going on in the NF community and how we can further the cause. So bear with me, it's a little emotional. Sometimes things just don't work out the way we like in life, but that's life. I never thought that I would have fought the fight of my life this past year. I'm D. Anthony Evans, and I am a cancer survivor and an NF patient. I was born with NF, and as you know, it causes tumors to spontaneously grow on the peripheral nerves and anywhere in the body without notice. I had a promising basketball career ahead of me, but that was all brought to an abrupt end because of my first NF-related operation. That surgery pretty much benched me indefinitely, and shortly thereafter took me out of the game for good. This was all happening while watching my mother lose her battle, her fight, and ultimately her life to AIDS and HIV, turning life as I knew it into that of an orphan overnight. That situation, it broke me down and it devastated me, and I'd be a liar if I said it didn't. But you see, grief and pain and the ability to overcome them is not unique or situation specific to me in my life. I know today, right here, right now in this room, many of us can relate to losing people or losing something we love or have experienced pain or agony because of someone or something. And I think we can all agree that those feelings are often overwhelming. But while we're being overwhelmed, guess what? Life is still moving. One of my favorite writers, Regina Brett's, author of God Never Blinks, she summed it up beautifully when she said, no matter how we feel, we must get up, dress up, and show up for life. Now let's fast forward 8 years. Me and basketball were pretty much estranged at this point. Honestly, I don't think I had fully gotten over the breakup and the way in which we went our separate ways. But one of the most amazing things about life and the mysterious ways in which it works is, and of course this is open interpretation, life will remove something to make room for a new something. And if you take a step back, refocus, take a deep breath and look at it again, it just might introduce you to a new something. And that's what it did for me. Basketball was gone, but I had been introduced to weight training and its relation to proper nutrition. I never could have imagined that I could have found the same type of enthusiasm and love and support for a sport again. Life had done it again. It had removed something and made room for a new something. Strength training and bodybuilding. This was my new passion. Life never ceases to amaze me. And the interesting way in which it works, it kind of prepares us for the things we have yet to face without us even knowing it. You see, I was avoiding the pink elephant in the room, my NF. I didn't even want to acknowledge I had it. I was young, bitter, angry. After all, it was my NF that stopped my basketball career. After that first surgery, I should have stayed the course with my doctors so they could properly monitor and carefully treat me as my disease progressed. But I didn't. And my procrastination finally came to an end in 2012 and I paid for it. I began experiencing extreme back pain that forced me to go to the hospital. Because of my powerlifting, I had built up so much muscle mass that when my doctor did the initial physical hand examination, he couldn't feel anything where I was describing the pain and almost dismissed it as training phase. I adamantly disagreed with him and to shut me up, he sent me for an MRI. When my slides came back, his entire demeanor had changed. He sat me down, he pulled out my slides, he looked at me, and he said, there's a substantial mass flush on your spine. The team doesn't even know if it's operable, your lungs are lying on it, your heart is like flush with it. It's just in a critical space, and the tumor could kill me, and the surgery could kill or paralyze me. Those were my options. Not very good exercise, right? I believe it was Caleb Mills that said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. I'm going to repeat that. She said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. The surgeons removed a cucumber-sized 2-pound, 7-centimeter tumor off my spine. You remember when we were talking about life and the mysterious ways in which it works? The doctor told me, and I quote, I don't know what you were doing in the gym, but the gym is the reason why you're alive. It seems my intense 4-hour-a-day training regimen had built up the muscle in my back so much that the tumor was encapsulated within it, ultimately stopping it from coiling around my spine, constricting, and snapping it in half or whatever it was going to do. You see, those who think they have no time for self-love or exercise or fitness will sooner or later have to make time for illness or despair. Find time. Get moving. You deserve it. And your life might depend on it. It doesn't matter if it's stretching or walking or biking, but do something. I'm living proof. A little extreme, but I'm living. The surgery was a success, but the celebration was short-lived. The pathology came back, and I was positive for malignant peripheral neurological sheath tumor, MPNST. This sent my doctors into a complete manic frenzy that turned into a full-body scavenger hunt. They removed more than 200 tumors from my body, including a 5-inch tumor that was embedded in between my scalp and my skull. This led to tissue expansion, where they open the top of your head, basically place a breast implant inside, sew you back up, and proceed to inject saline into it 53 millimeters a week for 16 weeks to create elasticity in the skin. On a lighter note, that particular procedure provided me with great visual material when speaking to children. I often tell them that I'm half black and alien just visiting through space and all in all, I had 7 major cancer-related operations within an 11-month span. I went through 6 weeks of intense radiation that gave me 3rd-degree burns on my back. I had hundreds of stitches, staples, sutures, coupled with countless amounts of pain pills and medications. The struggles you're in today are only developing the strength you'll need tomorrow. I needed more strength because even after all I had been through, I still had yet another operation. Every single test in our life is either going to make us better or make us bitter. Every problem is going to break us or make us, but the choice is ours whether we become the victim or the victor. I could have easily become the victim, but I knew my family. I knew they were counting on me, and I just wasn't ready to leave them. But how many of us are really ever ready to leave this earth? There's so much more to my journey and personal struggles. Life has knocked me down more than a few times and showed me some things that I never wanted to see. I've experienced many sadnesses and failures. But one thing's for sure, I the same courage, strength, and determination that's within me, guess what? It's within you too. You just have to find it. And once you find it, you have to activate it. For me and everyone in remission or battling NF, it's about